Bump, bump, bump. Hello, everyone, and I gotta get my microphone on. Oh, my microphone is on. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Wizard World Virtual Experiences as the crowd emojis wildly. Let me see those emojis out there. Give me those thumbs up. Give me those hearts on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, give us those exclamation points. If you're watching on Twitch, give us all your favorite fun emojis that they have to offer there. We are streaming to you completely live this Thursday evening with a very exclusive and very exciting experience with Emily Swallow. Here's the deal. We all know Emily Swallow from The Mentalist, from as the Armorer in The Mandalorian, and I know all you SPN family out there just watched the newest episode of Supernatural tonight. We sat down with Emily this past weekend with Meg Bonney of PureFandom.com, and we asked her about her first experience with Supernatural. We asked her about the upcoming season of The Mandalorian. So we are sharing this now for the first time tonight, an exclusive interview with Emily Swallow. Plus, we're going to take a look back at some of the fun clips from our very first virtual experience. We've been doing this since March 29th, and our very first one, we went straight to Supernatural, and we had a bunch of the cast on from Supernatural, including Emily, and we asked them a bunch of questions about the show. This was way back in March. We've been doing this for these virtual experiences and these virtual cons for 7.5 months, and it has been such a joy. My name is Mike G. I've been moderating a bunch of these panels. I've been streaming a bunch of these panels with you. These are free and these are live. The clips you're about to see tonight, again, are being re-shown from our previous Supernatural panel and an interview that we did with Emily just over this weekend. But we already have a bunch of fans tuning in. Shout out where you're watching from, whether it's a state or a country. I will shout you out in the comments. We got a bunch of people checking in. Kira Golden says, I loved you as a Mara. Yes, Mara, the darkness from Supernatural. Emily was so great. We're so excited to have her here this weekend again with us. We have questions from Christina about working with Jensen Ackles. Sheena says, Emily, I just watched the new episode of Supernatural, and all I can say is wow. No spoilers, Sheena. Paul Hoyt asks about if Emily's been in more episodes of The Mandalorian. Let's see where people are watching from. We've got Nadia from France. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Comment ça va, Nadia? We also have folks watching from Mexico City, from Maine, from Chicago, from Minnesota, Louisiana. Mark Boyance in from Louisiana. If you're an SPN fan, Supernatural for your layman, a Star Wars fan, a Mentalist fan, you love Emily Swallow, and she is such a joy. She has been to a lot of our physical conventions, and she's here tonight. We're here with her tonight to look back on Supernatural and to talk a little bit about Supernatural now and The Mandalorian. And then, hey, guess what, everybody? This Sunday, November 1st, Emily will be here live as a paid experience. So this is free, and all of our panels with celebs are always free. But as a paid experience on Sunday, you can get photo ops, you can get virtual one-on-one chats, you can sit in a room with Emily and ask her any questions that you want. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And she's also doing video recorded messages as well. So check those out at Wizard World Vault. That's the Wizard World Vault.com. Jeannie 4 says, big SPN fan. Jeannie 4, we love Jeannie 4. Jeannie 4 is here each and every night. Melissa says, SPN tonight was incredible. Christopher says, so excited to see Mandalorian Season 2. Nadia says, ça va. My favorite, ça va is one of my favorite terms in French, because you can go back and forth with it. You can say ça va, and that means like, how are you? And then you can answer ça va, ask back, and then you say ça va. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant phrase. So welcome, Nadia. New York City in the house. Fort Worth, Texas. Jeannie 4 says, from Amara to Weapons Master. Australia's in the house. Florida, Louisiana. Welcome, everybody. This is the way, Jack. Let us turn back. When everything kind of went into lockdown and quarantine back in March after our Cleveland show, we immediately started reaching out to a bunch of our favorite guests and celebrities and said, hey, let's do this virtual. And our very first panel was a Supernatural panel. We're going to watch that in full later in the month when we get Ruth Connell back for some virtual experiences. But in the meantime, here are some fun clips of Emily Swallow, in the Supernatural panel. First off, she brought one of her dogs into the panel, and it was a lot of fun. So take a look, everybody. Enjoy.
Like eye contact.
Oh,
Okay.
Emily, you
Saying-
on the screen.
Oh, look at that. Who's that?
Wait, this is Norma Jean Meatballs.
Oh my God,
She's
so
made an
cute.
appearance. I'm going to take
Why
away
is
the
she-
virtual
Oh.
background so it doesn't blur her.
Norma Jean
God.
Meatballs?
Yeah.
So what's
She wanted
the
to
what's the
say
nickname? What's the nickname for Norma Jean Meatball?
She goes by Norma.
Norma.
Why
Hello,
is it
Norma.
the changing room at Macy's?
What a cute.
This is actually, I have curtains on my bed so that the light can go away. I can't let you see my bed though.
It's another virtual.
Emily, you just broke the Twitch feed with your dog. It just
It went crazy.
I'm bringing my kids out. I've had enough.
Oh, bring Isabella.
I feel like Norma needs to come and be an emotional support dog for Amara.
How about that? What a awesome time. Again, we were pivoting in the moment and trying to figure out like what's the best way that we can bring this fan experience to all of you out there. And so we appreciate you all for tuning in. We've done over 100 of these virtual experiences, and now we're just starting to go back and like bring some of our favorite guests back. Emily started coming to our shows for season 1 of The Mandalorian. Obviously talked about Supernatural. Christopher said Emily Swallow was at a local convention in Jacksonville, Florida this summer. So cool. Jamie says, love that panel. So much fun. It was our very first one. I had that fun, awkward virtual background behind me. Remember back in the day when Zoom, we were like, the coolest thing was just putting up that virtual background. But such a great time. Emily's such a sweetheart, and we've loved her this entire series. So that was her pet. That was a little introduction to her pet. But here she is talking a little bit about the SPN family. And this was a big thing that came up throughout this panel. And we encourage you, if you missed the Supernatural panel, go back into our video section, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and rewatch that Supernatural panel. It's the very first one. There's a lot of amazing talk and chat about the show in general. Obviously, we're in our final season, super sad. But this was a fun little clip of Emily talking about coming in season 11. The show had run 11 seasons already, and she comes in as Amara and the Darkness. And here's what she has to say about the family of Supernatural. Take a look.
Is, as somebody who came in pretty late in the game, I think another extraordinary thing is that there's always room for more people in this family. It's incredible how, I went in season 11 and I was welcomed. I was, there was no sense of like, okay, this is the way we do things, fall into line. Like everyone was eager for what I had to bring to it. I wasn't ever made to feel like I needed to. I mean, I always say that like going into a show that's been running for a while is kind of like going to like being a transfer student and going to a new school, and everyone else like already has all the teachers and all the books, and you're trying to catch up. And it just felt like there was this feeling of like, oh, well, of course you're here. Come on in. And I feel like it's been that way all along, because every time I run into another actor who's been on the show, it just feels like everyone's part of this same family, whether you were on like one episode or 50 episodes. And that's truly extraordinary. Yeah. As Mark said.
So cool to hear that from her. Supernatural is an epic show and an epic event. I'd love to hear from all the fans watching out there what their favorite season is, who their favorite baddie is. We obviously had Mark Shepard on there on that panel, Ruth Connell. We're hoping to get Ruth Connell back in a few weeks for another one-on-one experience, because this was back when we first started this. And again, as a reminder, Emily, and we just put the link in the chat there for all three of you watching. There's more than 3 people watching. All 3 sites watching, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If you'd like to take advantage of those one-on-one virtual experiences with Emily, definitely take advantage of that. But who's your favorite baddies? Who are your favorite Supernatural baddies? Also, tell me in the chat what you're going to miss most about Supernatural. And if you love pure fandom, who are some of our favorite nerd bloggers that cover all things CW and all things Supernatural, you will know Liz Prue and Meg Bonney. They did a panel on Supernatural, a fan panel, where they gave away a bunch of prizes and did some trivia a while back, and they just talked about the things that they would miss about Supernatural. Melissa Hillier says season 7 was the best fanfic. Becky. I like it. Jeannie Force says Crowley. Obviously Mark Shepard, best baddie. So yeah, keep shouting those off in the comments. Again, and welcome to this. This is a fun, short little reliving of our very first panel here at Wizard World Virtual Experiences, plus an exclusive interview with Emily Swallow that we did just this last Sunday, leading up to season 2 of The Mandalorian. Whew, I'm so excited. And then also the final season of Supernatural. Alpha Nico said, my favorite baddie is Rowena. Rowena was on that chat. She was so fun to talk to, Ruth Connell, and we're hoping to get her back in a similar way, just like Emily Swallow, for another one-on-one experience. So if you've got the money, times are tough and we understand that, but if you can treat yourself or treat a loved one to those one-on-one virtual experiences, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Marissa says Crowley. Duh, Crowley. Catherine says Crowley. What's up, Marissa? How you doing? We love Marissa. Marissa is one of our customer service people and is as big a fan as any one of you, and that's why we love her. So thanks for hanging out, Marissa, and thanks for Jazz for being here in the comments as well. Christina says, I'm gonna miss Jensen and Jared driving the Impala together. Christina, whew, it's gonna be tough. One, because it's the end of how many years? Like, I know seasons we know, but in terms of like how many actual years, it's been much of our last 15 years of our lives have been Supernatural. Seeing that Impala and seeing the replica Impalas at conventions and people cosplay as Jared and Jensen. Sheena says, love Crowley and going to miss just seeing new episodes and knowing what the characters will be up to. Yeah. It's gonna be a sad thing. But let's go back one more time to that Supernatural panel, and we're gonna show more clips from that when we get Ruth Connell in here. Rowena. Jazz says, the show makes me want an Impala. We need a movie. Ginny 4 is right. We need a movie. Let's take a look. So this is Emily talking about conventions, because again, this was the first virtual experience that we did. So it was the first time we brought a bunch of actors together, not in person, not with the fans, just here, but also reaching out to the fans. And this is what Emily thought back in March. And then what's cool is we have a nice follow-up with Meg Bonney of purefandom.com, who interviewed her this weekend. So here we go. Here's Emily on virtual conventions. Take a look.
That in-person experience of being at the conventions, and that community that is assembled. We have the greater community of the fandom, but then at every single one of these conventions, there's a little mini community that's set up for a few days that is just such a beautiful thing. But what I love about this is that it's accessible to so many more people. I do love that people, who otherwise wouldn't be able to take the time and the money to travel can, they don't have to pay to hear us dither on about ridiculous things. They can do it for free.
What do I click on to see people?
That was when we were asked, how do we see all the fan comments? This was back in the early days. Jazz says, I got some great picks at Wizard World PDX 2017. Good times. Melissa also says we need a movie. I see a lot of our favorite names out here, some of our favorite fans of our virtual experiences, but then also some of our favorite SPN family in the house. Well, here it is. Without further ado, I know this is a little mini experience, a little short experience, but we've been having a ton of fun with these rewatch parties. We take a look back at the panel that you may have missed, and we encourage you to go back into our video section to watch the full 45-minute, 50-minute panel. We then take a new look at what is upcoming. Christopher asked, does Emily Swallow only do the voice, the person in costume, or both in The Mandalorian? Good question, Chris. There is a person that presents the armor at certain times, but Emily is often in the costume and does also do the voice. And it's similar, I know, for a bunch of the characters in The Mandalorian. But here we go, everybody. Without further ado, we love Meg Bonney and Liz Prue of Pure Fandom. Check them out at purefandom.com. Pure _fandom on Twitter and Instagram. They are the best. They do a bunch of our favorite CW and panels, including Supernatural and the Vampire Diaries and all that fun. They did a Star Wars panel, so definitely go back and check them out and continue to watch them. They do reaction videos and posts about all of these series. But this is Meg talking about both a reflection on the Supernatural panel, Supernatural as a series as a whole, and then a little bit of insider info on The Mandalorian. Obviously, Emily can't spill too many beans with Disney looking down in the premiere tomorrow, but here it is, everybody, an interview with Emily Swallow from this past weekend. Take a look.
Okay, so you were part of the Supernatural panel at Wizard World. So can you tell us what that was like to be connecting with fans and talking to them one-on-one?
Yes. I remember thinking, oh, what a bizarre thing that we're doing. I guess that it's a nice, like, temporary filler until things go back to normal very soon. And I remember just being so grateful that like we did have a way to connect. I mean, as sick as we all are of Zoom meetings now, it's still, there's so many of them that are just the highlight of my day because they give me a chance to connect to people that I haven't gotten to see in a while. And I am certainly missing the connection that we get from the conventions and getting to just talk about stuff and see, you know, art that people have made and hear people's theories about Supernatural. And for me, it's when I get to see all the other actors, because I've made so many friends on Supernatural that I never once worked with on the show, but I've gotten to see on the panels. So I remember it was this like burst of excitement in what was a very already strange quarantine, because I was in New York where things were like totally locked down. But it's so bizarre now to look back on it, and also to see how Wizard World has like totally streamlined the whole process and really, I think, made the most of giving us as much as we can get without actually being able to be in the same place for now.
Yes, and it is so nice to still be able to connect with, even being a fan and watching other fans on the chat, on Twitch, on all the streams that we do. So it's been really fun just from a fan side too.
Especially like for people who don't usually get to go to the in-person conventions. I love that it's accessible that way and that we have these chats that are completely free. So you get to see, you'd have to pay to go to a convention and see a panel, but I really like that it's something that we can do to kind of cheer people up and connect with each other.
Yes, and bonus, you can do it in your pajamas or pajama bottoms if you so
don't
prefer.
know if I'm wearing pants right now.
Exactly. It's a mystery, a little added mystery. So what has it been like for you to be part of the Star Wars universe? Like, what is that like? That has to be amazing.
It is amazing. And I think that that's especially says something about how amazing it is, given that I was already part of the Supernatural universe and that fandom, because that fandom is just a dream. I mean, I had no idea when I was starting Supernatural what I was getting into, and it continues to inspire me and delight me and just astound me, like the energy and the generosity that the fandom has. And so Star Wars, I think, because it's been going for, there is something that's gone longer than Supernatural. Star Wars has been around for 4 decades now. And so the fandom just like, it's every age and every country in the world, and like every type of person has some sort of connection to Star Wars. And it's just been thrilling. It's so, especially because my experience of shooting The Mandalorian was very, very secretive. And I didn't even really know how important the armorer was to the series as a whole. And so a lot of my experience of it and my understanding of it just happened while I was watching it like everybody else. And, I was able to see like, oh, she's actually kind of a big deal, even though she doesn't show up much. She's got some important things to do. And so it's been this kind of this Christmas present that I just keep getting to unwrap more and more and more. And then it just makes my conventions like supercharged because I've got Supernatural fans and I've got Star Wars fans. And when those fandoms collide, good things happen.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of Mandalorian, I know you can't tell us anything, but how excited are you for season 2?
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even know there was a season 2.
It's like extra mystery.
Yeah, what? Season 2? No, every time someone asks me a question, I have to say, okay, what is public knowledge and what is, and sometimes I truly don't know the answer, so that makes it easy. But it's been pretty exciting. The lead up to it, the anticipation, knowing now that we have something that people have really embraced and that they're looking forward to, that adds a little extra oomph to all of it.
And we definitely need some oomph. So thank you for that. We're excited.
Oh, my
pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, I muted myself so that you could get that full interview without echo effect, and now I'm back. So awesome to hear Emily again as a huge, not only Supernatural nerd, but even bigger Star Wars nerd. So excited for season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian. I mean, Emily's The Armorer literally kicks off the entire trailer tomorrow. Some fun comments from the fans. Melissa says, SBN cons were the bomb. Hopefully we can get back to those soon. Marissa says Gish for life. Obviously, Misha's scavenger hunt, so good. And so great to have everybody here hanging out tonight. Again, just a small taste of everything that was going on. If you missed the Supernatural panel, head back to our video section at Wizard World on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and check out the full Supernatural in full effect. And just know that if you have more specific questions for Emily, she is doing one-on-one private video chats and video recorded messages and photo ops this Sunday, November 1st. So definitely check those out. It's at wizardworldvault.com. Genie 4 says she brings so much soul to any character she plays. I agree, Genie 4. And it was so lovely for her to drop in and chat with Meg Bonnie and to chat with us months ago. And she'll be back this Sunday. So you just watched the most recent episode of Supernatural. You're going to watch the first episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian tomorrow night. Then purchase that one-on-one chat, and you've got the ultimate geek trilogy right there. We are Wizard World Virtual Experiences. Thanks for hanging out tonight. My name is Mike G. We did a rewatch party of Doctor Who earlier tonight with the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS podcasters. So definitely check that out. This weekend, we've got some amazing content. On Saturday, on Halloween, we've got some of the cast members of Game of Thrones hanging out with us on October 31st. Again, completely free. On November 1st, we have a 60s flashback with some of the stars of 60s music and TV, in addition to Emily Swallow's virtual experiences. The following weekend, we have all of the voice actors from the X-Men animated series hanging out, and including the movie Starship Troopers, which I'm nerding out on because that was just a big cult classic from my generation. Land of the Lost will be hanging out, and then the cast of Baywatch on November 8th. Also, stay tuned. We've got some exciting announcements coming up. If you love trivia and you love Bruce Campbell is back with some Bruce Campbell-centric trivia on November 12th. Whiz Quiz fans that have been hanging out with me each and every week, thanks for, we took a couple weeks off for these rewatch parties, but we'll be playing some free trivia again next week, so come on back. Brian Nussbaum is literally on YouTube like, when's the next Whiz Quiz? This is our normal Whiz Quiz slot. We've done some rewatch parties here to kind of try them out. We will be back with a big prize package next Thursday night. It is nerd trivia, all things movie, entertainment, history, science, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, with me, your host, Brian Nussbaum over there, defending some of his titles. So come back next week and then join Bruce on November 12th. Jamie loves Starship Troopers. I agree. Yeah, Catherine, thanks for watching. SLA News, thanks for hanging out as well. This has been fun. Thanks for hanging out for just a fun, short rewatch party, plus some new footage of Emily Swallow. And we'll see you next time and this weekend for some of our other free, live, exclusive Wizard World panels. We'll check you out next time. My name is Mike G. I've been your host for tonight. Follow us at Wizard World or follow me at Mike G Does Things. Have a great night, everybody.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
You know this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard. This is the way.